Hey folks, I will discuss why Strand cannon builds are just not worth using for in-game content. I have no doubt that to any detractor users will get triggered about this for what I have to say. For months, I have seen other players use this exotic for several builds to prove its potency for PvE in-game content. Now, what builds could I be talking about? Here is the list of Strand cannon builds that veterans have been using. Double Slug or Double Fusion Tractor from Gathering Storm with Starter Scales, same loadout with Wallet Radiance, Strand Warlock Super with Swarmers, Thunder Crash with Cures of the Falling Star, Supremacy Bane Switch, Tractor, and 1-2 Punch Strand Titan Melee with Wormgods. This is all I can think of for Strand cannon builds, but I'm pretty sure there might be more to list here. Now, I have seen the total damage is wonderful for every build, but there are other things I've noticed that I couldn't ignore. With each build using Strand cannon, the one drawback that I couldn't help but notice is that Strand cannon has a shotgun in the power slot. 5 of your raid members will be using either machine guns, rockets, or grenade launchers whenever a boss damage window is open. Everyone will be using burst or sustain weapons during damage rotations, and sometimes burst supers are involved. As a Strand cannon user, you sacrifice a lot of damage on your power slot, and you're left to either use a Supremacy Bane switch or a double special weapon build. You guys might be thinking, it's no big deal. Those two builds will be right up there where everyone else is using their power weapons. Well, the truth is, your damage won't be nearly close to the rest of the team. Now, a lot of you Strand cannon users will disagree on this knowledge, but bear with me on this, because the trade-off you're facing might become a surprise for you. This is where I'll be talking about the drawbacks for using Strand cannon. 1-2 Punch Strand Titan will be discussed later, but I want to go over the double special weapons first. Let's start with Double Slug. A lot of veterans say it is the top build for PvE, but I disagree on this. The amount of damage that you pump out while swapping, it is wonderful damage, but here's the drawback with this. You are swapping back pretty fast, but unfortunately you have a lot of ammo for a tractor you didn't use much. Don't believe me? Here's a demonstration to show you the truth.
That's all I can do. I'm gonna be dead. That was 90% accurate though for me. That was 90% accurate.
As you can see, I had reconstruction on most slugs, but I unfortunately don't have Vertical on my Nessus Appellation. If I did, the damage would have been a little higher. Now, you may have noticed I didn't use a Strand Super because this was only a weapon-based damage test. Coming back to Strand cannon, the problem with double slug swapping is that you are spending a lot of time pumping everything out from the mag as quick as you can, but you're not using a lot of the ammo from Tractor. You're only using 2 or 3 shots of Strand cannon just to maintain your debuff. And you have plenty of ammo left to use, but unfortunately, the amount of time you spend damaging will only leave you with little time to use Strand cannon, and the damage window will probably be a few seconds left before you can try to spam Tractor. Even if you had a Warlock Strand Super, a Thunder Crash, Blade Barrage, Going to Gun, or Gathering Storm to the damage test, the estimated total damage would break over 2 million, but why waste a significant amount of damage from the unused ammo on Strand cannon? You're just using it just to maintain a lingering debuff. The same goes for a Double Fusion. Dumping all of my ammo from one fusion, reapplying the Strand cannon, and swapping to the other one would result in the same issue.
Yeah, that's impossible. You can't empty it out that quick. Yeah, that's still too low. You can't be able to go back and forth like that.
As you can see, I use as much pressure ammo I can within the damage window, but not all with Trident Cannon. Now, a lot of people point out that someone else applying a debuff the whole time, but either way, my damage would have been near 1.4 million. As a result of this damage test, with the double fusion build, I sacrificed the damage portion with the rest of the unused ammo from Tractor, and even if you add in a burst super for damage, that will make the total damage be a little higher, but you still sacrifice the other damage portion from Tractor. Plus, the other players that had been using rockets or grenade launchers would have been using a special weapon to add in the extra damage once they used up their ammo from rockets or grenade launchers, including a linear, if anyone still uses it. This is why the Trident Cannon isn't worth using. For my case, to add in a debuff, I'd rather use a Shadow Shot with Snare Bomb rather than sacrifice my damage in Tractor. The other build I want to get into is 1-2 Punch Strand Titan with Wormgods. Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen how potent this build is, but it does require adds to maintain its potency, while grappling back to back to refresh your power melee ability. Not only that, the Burning Fist perk on Wormgods is the second thing to be on the lookout for. To me, achieving the maximum damage with this is extremely situational. The only encounters from dungeons and raids that can benefit this build are first boss of Grass Avarice, final boss of Pit of Heresy, final boss of the Shattered Throne, first boss of Warlord's Ruin, and first boss of Ghost of the Deep. For raid encounters that can benefit this build are Golgroth, Uryut, and Crota. Everything else that I include from dungeons and raids can't benefit this build. So with everything I said in this video, the double special weapon's total damage is a bit short against a power weapon like rockets and grenade launchers. They both do higher damage than double special weapons because of their damage roll for PvE. Don't believe me? Let's check the damage test to compare a double slug versus a rocket and grenade launcher by itself. The perks I'll be using for both are Track and Module and Clown Coverage on Crux Termination and Incest on a Regnant. I won't be using Cascade for this since it doesn't increase the total damage. The reason why I won't use Bait and Switch on a rocket and a grenade launcher is because I want to make a fair damage comparison between the two.
Pop your Tractor, but not your super. Tractor again. Alright, that should be enough.
You may have noticed that I didn't use a super for the damage test because this is still a weapon-based damage test. Now, you guys may say that it's matched with Double Slug, but that's without any increased damage perks, like Verbal Weapon, Explosive Light, and Bait and Switch. I do want to be very clear on this. By the time the rest of your team is done using all their ammo from either rocket or grenade launcher, everyone on your team would have been using the rest of their ammo with their special weapon. Even if you add a burst super damage in the test, the total damage with double special weapons will get you over an estimated damage of 2.2 million. Plus, the players that were using power weapons with Bait and Switch, Explosive Light, and Verbal will go over that damage threshold than the double special weapon build. Even though Trident Cannon is a lingering debuff effect to support the team, you have ammo that has not been used because of the time you spend damaging with double special weapons during the damage phase. In the end, the damage window will be nearly done before spamming Tractor Cannon to finish the ammo they have left. Not only that, the rest of the team's damage individually would have been slightly higher than yours. Overall, both Divinity and Tractor Cannon require you to sacrifice a significant amount of damage from your own arsenal. With Divinity, you're only lasering bosses with little damage, while the debuff is there. With Tractor, you're doing with somewhat good enough damage with the debuff lingering, but if you sacrifice the damage portion from your unused Tractor ammo, because the time spent damaging with double special weapons, or a single special weapon with Bane Switch. So, with everything I pointed out in this video, I hope you learned something from this build analysis breakdown.